Hello, thank you very much for having me. My name is Professor Bruce Hearn. I'm a full professor in governance at the Southampton Business School. My background is that I did 12 years in professional industry, investment banking industry in London. Then I came into academia and I spent the last 14 years in academia working between some quite good institutions worldwide. So King's College London, University of Sussex, University of Southampton, and also internationally. I worked in a wide variety of countries such as Afghanistan, Finland, Switzerland, France, and West Africa as well. So I've got quite a lot of international exposure, and I've got the industry exposure as well, practitioner industry exposure. Plus, I've been working in UK academia with the teaching, professional teaching, and research. My field is corporate governance. So my field is actually governance in its whole. So institutional governance as well as corporate governance. But corporate governance is a relatively new field or discipline, and I sit within the Department of Accounting. But the work that I do, both in terms of teaching and also particularly research, spans or transcends a number of distinct subject areas. So management, international business, entrepreneurship, but most importantly corporate finance, and accounting. And so governance is kind of spans or transcends all these distinctive subject areas and disciplines. My interest in field is entirely practical, and it's a combination of both coming from a practitioner background for 12 years in inherently practical environment in banking and financial markets in London, which is totally practitioner orientated and very inherently pragmatic and practical. But also I have a real love of international contexts and people as well. And ultimately, its heart, particularly corporate governance, but also finance and accounting and entrepreneurial finance, is all about people. It's all about how people access finance, what are the terms and conditions of contracts about finance, how can they use finance practically, and how can they actually utilise the different aspects and tools of corporate governance in order to advance their business. And so very much is a practical, applied approach to entrepreneurial finance and to corporate governance, and it's of practitioner benefit. It's rooted in practitioner experience, but equally has the added benefits of having all the research-led pedagogic approaches and the benefits of my quite wide international teaching experience as well. The impact from a corporate governance course, the impact in terms of corporate governance for students is that they will see it will make a great deal of sense to them in practice, no matter what their future career path. So when they go into all areas of industry, the actual basics and the basic concepts they learn across the course is going to really set them up in terms of being able to have a thorough understanding and a grounding of why organisations are structured the way they are, how they're structured, what the logic is behind, say for example, organisational hierarchies, and what a board of directors is, and how this translates in terms of obtaining finance and liaising with external stakeholders. There's a wide variety of stakeholders, not just finance. It could be government, it could be media, it could be local environment, for example, and local bodies. So it actually is quite a broad, holistic, interdisciplinary approach that actually enables a great deal of sense making in students in their future careers to be able to understand how organisations work, why they're structured the way they are, and how they relate to wider stakeholders. This is actually particularly useful for students entering the world of banking, finance, and industry, but it is also much broader in terms of public sector, government, and civil service, and it really forms a solid grounding in terms of organisational structure and dynamics. So students will have quite a significant impact from this whether they actually choose to specialise in, say, masters, MBAs, and academic routes, a PhD and ultimate PhD. This will actually hope to this course is intended to stimulate that interest and that deeper interest, but also in terms of going out and actually choosing to go out into industry, as many students do, and therefore being able to apply this knowledge readily in terms of being able to interpret why organisations are structured the way they are. Teaching structure for international corporate governance is designed to actually, for students, it's very much student-centred, and is designed for students to actually gain the most out of the interactions and engagements, both with myself, but also the teaching materials. So all of the teaching materials are designed to actually enhance student experience and maximise learning opportunities, and maximise ultimately the student value added from attending this course. So in terms of international corporate governance, there is a backbone of short lectures for each session during the 3-week period. So each of the Monday, Friday sessions, so 5 sessions per week, is actually a backbone of short lectures of no more than about 15-20 minutes long. So it's designed to actually introduce the key concepts and key issues and key theoretical issues underpinning a particular topic, and then we reinforce this learning through short case studies, through small problem sets that students can work together and very much encouraged to work together in groups. So there's actually an interactive group element to this, and group learning and social element. But also lesser, small, quick bite tests, for example, to keep students on their toes, such as multiple choice questions and short answer questions and true/false, which is basically designed to actually keep students aware and keep students quite sort of fresh and in their approach. We also do introduce some particular case studies, but also some Excel-based material, which can also enhance students' learning of, say, more technical aspects of the course. Certainly in terms of international corporate governance, there's very little mathematics. So the level of student entry is non-mathematical, so there's no prerequisites in terms of knowledge or mathematics. And so this is very much designed to be introductory material, but also introductory, which leads through students to a much deeper and greater pedagogic understanding of what corporate governance is, and particularly with the case studies and the exercises, how corporate governance differs across countries, hence the international. So why is corporate governance different, and why are firms differently structured in France compared to Hong Kong, compared to Australia, compared to South Africa, compared to Brazil, compared to, say, the UK. So what are the international comparisons, and again, how do things work in an international context? Because we're all different. Different legal systems, different culture, different languages, and so forth. So that's the structure of international corporate governance.